Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader, reading books for you. Today, I will be reading Key 8 from 10 Keys to Attain Happiness, based on data-backed research by RAJAT KHATRI. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Key 8. I. Intensity of emotions. Be a human. Your emotions make you human. Even the unpleasant ones have a purpose. Don't lock them away. If you ignore them, they just get louder and angrier. Sabah Tahi. We, as human beings, are blessed to have emotions. An emotion is a mental state which is brought on by chemical changes in our body, outside stimulus, or feelings associated with thoughts, behaviors, and pleasures. Only two sorts of people don't exercise emotions: the dead one and the psychopaths. Now we have a third category too: the Alexa, Siri, or Google Homes, the new humans but without any emotions. Otherwise, a normal human being experiences hundreds of feelings and emotions, which can be further categorized into 27 emotions as per a study published by Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences USA. Traditionally, as per Paul Ekman, there were 6 major categories of emotions: anger, disgust, fear, sadness, surprise, and happiness. In the English dictionary, the stock of words for negative emotions is comparatively much more than that of for positive emotions, with a ratio of 62 to 38. Therefore, we need to be mindful and aware of how we are behaving when we are experiencing negative emotions compared to the positive ones. Despite knowing the variety of emotions, it's tough to identify, understand, and control the feelings. Managing these emotions is called emotional intelligence. How do emotions change within the body? Emotions are nothing but the movement of chemicals, which is called neurotransmitters, which relay information across the brain from neuron to neuron. You feel different emotions when you have varying levels of neurotransmitters and the activation of different areas of the brain in response to a stimulus. For example, how do you feel when you read, "You've been promoted"? When your brain receives happy news, it signals to release 2 neurotransmitters into the central nervous system, named as dopamine and serotonin. And when they flood your brain, you feel the emotion happiness. Conversely, a lack of these neurotransmitters causes a feeling of sadness. Other emotions are caused by a combination of these neurotransmitters, and others in various proportions. The variety of emotions that we experience have all evolved to keep us safe, whether it is the fear that holds us back from a potentially dangerous mountain path, or the sadness that encourages us to reconnect with a friend after a fight. How to control your emotions. We usually tend to get carried away with the emotions, and then the lack of mindfulness keeps us stuck with the previous emotions, usually the negative ones. This is the default conditioning of our mind. For example, if we are in a sad mood because of some experience in the morning, we tend to remain with those emotions as we continuously think about the incident unless something different happens. So basically, we wait for something different to happen, rather than intentionally taking some actions to experience something different. Here are a few steps that can be taken to control and manage our emotions. 1. Identification of emotions. The first step is to identify what sort of emotion we are going through. Now here, It is very important to go deeper from the 6 categories to 27 subcategories. Or even further, we might say that we are feeling angry, and this could be due to frustration or irritation or being annoyed. Coming out of any of these 3 emotions have different mythology, so it's critical to understand the exact emotion going on. 2. Look for the factors. Once we have identified the emotion, the next thing that we have to do is look for the factors. So many times we fear or get excited for the sales presentation the next day, but due to that, we get frustrated at home by listening the sound of the TV or kids laughing louder or any other disturbing sound, and as a result, we start getting irritated. Therefore, in such a situation, we need to spare a few minutes apart to find the major reason. Is it the presentation or the sound behind that and also the emotion? Is it fear or irritation for that reason? 3. Investigate the context. It's also important to understand the reason for this emotion. For example, you saw a photograph of 2 of your friends being together for shopping, and this is what they have been doing for the last 1 week, and you feel left out. Then you might feel angry or jealous, or you have the fear of being left out. So, it's not only important to understand the emotion that you are going through, but also the exact reason for the same. Why were you not being invited to the shopping? Is it because you don't enjoy shopping? Or is it because you always give excuses for going out? Or you have some different goals in life? The more you'll work on these feelings and try to go to the deepest core of your heart, the calmer and more relaxed you'll feel. 4. Take a logical step. This logical step taken at the stage after a complete analysis of the situation defines how you are going to feel as well as how you are going to be in the future. For example, if in the above-mentioned case, you might feel bad and slowly move out of the group of those 2 friends, and therefore continue feeling lonely and sad whenever and wherever you see them together. If you are a logical and practical person, you might opt for the other step. You might choose to have a word with them just to realize that probably it was just one off case when you were left out incidentally or accidentally. You can also choose to take an initiative by asking your 2 friends to come for shopping the next day, or by dropping them a message to include you 2 for the next plan. Usually, in the case of social networking, we feel jealous looking at the life of others who seem to be happy and enjoying their life by making international trips, which you can't afford. It's absolutely fine if you start unfollowing them. Similarly, you might receive hundreds of unwanted messages on your phone every day, which stresses you. So, it's also okay if you block those contacts, unless you are directly deleting their messages without even reading. These are nothing but some small hacks of life to reduce your frustration and increase happiness. 5. Take some time out. The last step is to get involved in some activity that enhances your mood. For example, if you like gymming or dancing, get involved in that deeply so that your brain comes out of the thought of being left out. Keeping yourself busy with the stuff that you enjoy doing has the power to bring you out of such useless thoughts and negative emotions quickly. Staying involved in random household works will make you believe that your life is worthless, thus adding fuel to fire. So choose your time out wisely. Emotions in the brain. Every time you experience an emotion, your body naturally starts a cascade of responses. First, a physiological change, then a chemical release, and a behavioral response. Emotions involve multiple processes working together from your major organs to your limbic system. Here are the details of a few neurotransmitters known as happy hormones. 1. Endorphin. Endorphin is known as a natural painkiller. Endorphins are released when we laugh out loud or do physical exercises. That is the reason why we are recommended to laugh out loudly or to engage in physical activity to come out of the pain. Yet, another thing that releases endorphin is eating spicy food. On the other hand, when we want to cry but don't, then those tears remain inside the body and generate unwanted stress. So, the best is not to resist crying, rather taking out those tears and feel completely relaxed, because that is when endorphin is released and we are relieved from pain. 2. Dopamine. Dopamine is known as hormone of rewards or motivational hormone. Dopamine is released when we are willing to work towards achieving a goal. Therefore, it is recommended to create small steps rather than impractical goals and achieve the goals easily because dopamine will be generated at the achievement of each step. We must also congratulate ourselves and treat ourselves once we achieve our small targets. This will lead to more and more happiness. Serotonin. Serotonin helps us letting go of sadness. To infuse serotonin, we must sit in the sunlight and have vitamin D. Serotonin is also released through dairy products. Yet, other activities that release serotonin are helping other people and getting involved in low-intensity exercises. 4. Oxytocin. Oxytocin is also known as happy hormone or love hormone. Oxytocin is released when we keep a strong relationship with family, friends, and especially when we hug them. Hugging gently gives us security and imposes the feel-good factor very much. Activity. Create a happiness jar at your home. Every day, write 3 happy moments that you have experienced. This will definitely help you be mindful throughout the day. Do write about them by the end of the day on a slip and put it into the jar. Whenever you have a negative emotion later in life, just pick a slip from that jar, read it, and live that precious happy moment again. This activity will have a threefold impact on happiness. 1. When you experience the happy moment during the day. 2. When you write about it by the end of the day. 3. When you pick the slip from the jar after a few days. Stay tuned for Key 9. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book.